News analysis of the day. We had another session in the morning at 8 o'clock, and this session will be followed by another one at 3 o'clock. This vigor of live sessions will continue till the upcoming preliminary examinations. We know that on December 5 we have the IBPS clerical examination, so we got to practice as many questions as possible. The newspaper analysis should not take the back seat. We have to prepare in advance the general awareness. That is very essential, because after the mains we do not have, after the prelims we do not have much time for the mains. So it has to be built, the general awareness has to be built over a period of time. So please do not be careless about the newspaper reading. Yesterday we announced through the our application that our regular classroom sessions start on December 7 and December 14. We have got 2 batches whose registration has just begun in ICD KOLLAM.in, our website. So you can sorry, you can go to the website ICD KOLLAM.in, go to the menu courses and go for regular classroom session and register there. Of course, considering the restrictions that we have due to COVID, the seats will be limited. So those who are interested to join the regular classes may register quickly. We shall communicate on the basis of the registration. Good afternoon everybody. The application will continue as we do now. There is no change to that. That is a commitment, and we will continue. We will ensure that the mobile application sessions will continue as beautifully as it does now. So we shall start. We shall start with the newspaper analysis of November 26. Diego Maradona is no longer with us. The god of football is no longer with us, so that will be a major news item in the coming days too. Plenty of inspiring stories about Maradona will come. So a person who single-handedly won the World Cup for a passionate football loving nation like Argentina. So we shall read more about Diego Maradona. We shall start. November 26, November 26, 2020. This is the main page. Heavy rain as Cyclone Nivar approaches the coast. Indian eastern coast is prone to cyclones periodically. This is the 3rd cyclone of the year. In June there was a cyclone, and in May there was another cyclone. I think the names are Amphan and Nisarg. Now it is a 3rd one, Nivar, that approached and it approached the eastern coast. So it landfell at 2:30 the day before, 2:30 at night the day before, and it caused extensive damage to crops, and it took some lives also. So please listen, very very important. Cyclone Nivar. Look, Cyclone Nivar is the 3rd to make landfall in India this year. Earlier the extremely severe cyclone Amphan barreled through West Bengal in May. So Amphan hit landfall in West Bengal in May, followed by cyclone Nisarg that ploughed through Maharashtra in June. So this is the 3rd cyclone First was Amphan that hit West Bengal in the month of May, and Nisarg that hit Maharashtra in the month of June, and this is the third cyclone of the year 2020. But hopefully Nivar would not create as much damage as Amphan did in the month of June in West Bengal. The entire eastern coast is prone to cyclones and typhoons. We know Orissa, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh and even Chennai are periodically hit by cyclones. So the name is important, the names are important rather, all the cyclones that hit the Indian coast in the year 2020. Please read and take down wherever it is necessary. Supreme Court stays High Court gag order in Amaravati land scam. The Supreme Court stayed an interim direction of the Andhra Pradesh High Court to gag the media from reporting on an FIR registered on the alleged illegal purchase of land in Amaravati. Listen, Andhra Pradesh, the earlier Andhra Pradesh was divided into the new state of Telangana was carved out of Andhra Pradesh, earlier Andhra Pradesh. Now there are two states, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. In both the states people speak Telugu. So for the next 10 years, from the very beginning, from the start of Telangana to the next 10 years, it was decided to have a common capital which would be Hyderabad, and within 10 years a new capital will be built for Andhra Pradesh, and the place chosen was Amaravati. So people knew that Amaravati is going to be the capital. So what happened, all of a sudden many people, including people in the top brass, started acquiring land. They knew that once the state capital is built, capital and the legislative assembly building, secretariat building and all are built, immediately the land value will go up. So people started grabbing land in Amaravati, in and around Amaravati. So most of the land purchases were illegal, and High Court of Andhra Pradesh stopped media from reporting on FIR on the alleged illegal purchases of land in Amaravati. It was in this context that Jagan Mohan Reddy wrote a letter to the Chief Justice, and he publicized it in the media also. So it was connected with a Supreme Court judge also. So a 3-judge bench led by Justice Ashok Bhushan gave 4 weeks to former State Additional Advocate General and First Respondent Damalpati Srinivas to file his response. Others included are relatives of one sitting Supreme Court judge. So listen, you should understand the context. The context is what I just described to you, the building of the new capital for Andhra Pradesh at Amaravati, and the land purchase, the illegal land purchase is connected with the building up of the new capital at Amaravati. A moment of reckoning. Organizational elections are an opportunity for the Congress to reassess its leadership. Listen, Congress is a party which ruled this country for more than 3/4 of its independent history, but unfortunately Congress has split into various groups and has become an irrelevant force in many states. In 2014 Congress was routed out in the country. In the national parliament, in the Lok Sabha, it had only 46 members out of 543 possible. So it was a big force to reckon with in many states, but now Congress is not at all a power to reckon with in many states. We know what has just happened in Bihar also. Congress won only 19 states. There was a time when Congress was a big force and an auto choice for the voters in the whole of the Hindi belt, but in the Hindi belt Congress is nothing now. The problem with Congress is that it has always been a charisma following party. It required a charisma. Of course, Pandit Nehru had the charisma, he drove the party with the charisma, and Indira Gandhi also had a lot of charisma to back her. Rajiv Gandhi, who had no interest in politics, all of a sudden became an accidental prime minister. He also had the so called charisma, but now unfortunately that charisma is missing in the party, and the Congress requires a strong organizational structure from the grassroots level. Unfortunately, once the biggest political party in the world did not encourage democracy from within. That is a major issue with the Congress party. It does not have a democratic setup. Internal democracy is absent. So it is more hierarchical. The complaint is that it is hierarchical, it is a dynasty, dynastical, etc., etc. So if the Congress is to become a strong powerful opposition and become a force to reckon with, it got to have a very strong organizational level at the grassroots level, for which elections are to be conducted. There is a ray of hope as Congress has decided to conduct organizational elections. Let us hope so. Listen, we speak a lot about the opposition. Why? Because in a democracy, if it is to become meaningful, it must have a very strong opposition. In democracy, one of the complaints is that things will happen very slow. That should not be a bad idea. Why? Because if we do things very fast, most of there are plenty of chance for oversights. So a strong opposition, or only a strong opposition, can point out the mistakes that the government may commit. So nobody can undermine the relevance of a strong opposition in a meaningful democracy. So let us hope that Congress will honestly attempt to have internal democracy within the party and will become a good, strong, meaningful force to become a strong opposition. Jobs, Exports and Trade Pacts link, written by P. Chidambaram, a former finance minister and senior Supreme Court lawyer, is a non-economist, Harvard University product. India's economy contracted by 23.9 in the first quarter of 2021. According to RBI, the Indian economy will further contract by 10% in July-September quarter. So when the economies contract, the article says the first casualty will be jobs. People will lose job, and once joblessness start, then it is very difficult to get back on track. That is what the article points out. So we know that most of the money that comes to India via investment is for taking over existing companies, meaning again jobs are not created. So this particular article speaks about the impact of jobs when we ink trade pacts, and the impacts of jobs due to on jobs due to COVID. So a good, readable, simply written article, a must read one, please read. China slams India's ban on 43 more applications. We know that China banned 43 India banned 43 Chinese applications. This was subsequent to the earlier decisions to ban more than 100 applications. So China says that India is trying to protect its market and is trying to seal its market from foreign entries. China expressed serious concerns over India's claims relating to the apps. For 4 times since June, India has imposed restrictions on smartphone apps with Chinese backgrounds under the pretext of national security. all along India has been citing national security. We know that all these things started once the relationships at the border deteriorated. We know that India and Chinese army were face to face in the eastern border, and that resulted in 20 casualties on Indian side. So ever since then India has been trying to, the complaint is that trying to protect or overprotect the domestic market. We know that plenty of Chinese applications were banned, popular applications were banned, and now a few more are banned. India blocked 59 apps in June and further 118 in September, and now 43 more. So nearly 200 applications or a bit more than that are banned by the Indian government. Popular of them were TikTok, Baidu, UZ Browser, Sina Weibo, etc., etc., PUBG, etc. So all these applications were banned. So it is app diplomacy now. So India says that India's position is that unless the border issue is settled, we cannot open up our market. So it cannot be, it is not about markets which are important, rather it is borders which are important. Anyway, we have to closely watch how these things develop. Prime Minister to lay foundation for new parliament building, very important question. It will come for your examination too. The Central Vista project, in 21 months a new parliament building is to be built. We know that the present parliament building is of British architecture. Now it is we are making our own parliament building, a separate Prime Minister's office. The building is to have Prime Minister's office, the parliament, and it is going to be a 861 crore project, 861 crore project, which was undertaken by Tata Constructions. So a very important question, it is said that Prime Minister will lay foundation stone somewhere in December, and it is to be completed in 21 months. So it is going to be a mammoth effort. There was a criticism that country is going through a very bad phase financially. So at this point of time, should we go for a new construction, public construction? So anyway, government may take the action, decide soon. Let us see the Central Vista redevelopment project. So it is to be done in 21 months, 861 crore project. Okay, so the final date would depend on the availability of Prime Minister, the sources said. See, the old building was built by, the British era building was designed by Edwin Leitons and Herbert Baker, who were responsible for planning and construction of New Delhi. So at that time the construction cost for the present day parliament building was 83 lakh, and the foundation stone was laid on February 1921. Of course, all are very pleasant information. For 83 lakh the entire parliament building was built. So look how the money value has changed over time. Hong Kong leader vows to restore political order. Carrie Lam is the leader of Hong Kong. I told you many times in the past days what was happening in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a Chinese province now. It was a British colony. Formerly Britain handed over Hong Kong to China in 1997. Hong Kong people enjoyed democracy, freedom freedom of speech and expression and all under the British, but we know about China, it is an authoritarian communist regime which does not allow freedom of speech, expression and all. So, for the ever since 1997, as per the agreement, there would exist a one country two system principle. One country means Hong Kong will come under the country of China and Hong Kong will be a part of China, but two systems, one system for China and Hong Kong will continue its own parliamentary system where people will enjoy political as well as more personal freedom. But ever since then China has been trying to strangulate Hong Kong, and we know the national security law was passed by Chinese parliament for Hong Kong a few months back, under which trial of political prisoners will be conducted in mainland China. Immediately there were protests, and for the past 1 year there have been huge protests in I'm sorry, in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong's leader vowed on Wednesday to restore order to the city's legislature, save its political system from chaos, in a key policy speech at a muted gathering of almost exclusively pro-Beijing lawmakers. Listen, in the month of November, 4 pro-democracy lawmakers were expelled from Hong Kong parliament, and subsequently many pro-democracy legislators resigned as a protest against Chinese national security law. So in a parliament which is bereft of any opposition or pro-democracy legislatures, Carrie Lam said that she would restore order in Hong Kong. So please closely watch what is developing in Hong Kong. You should know the name Carrie Lam. Bhutan establishes formal ties with Germany. Listen, Bhutan is a very special country. It does not have international relations with too many countries. It has no diplomatic relations with any of the permanent 5 nations. Which are the permanent 5 nations of UNO? America, Russia, England, France and China. Bhutan does not have any diplomatic relations with P5 members, P5 countries, and it rarely has a diplomatic relation. Till 2007 it had diplomatic relations only with around 20-21 countries, but now Bhutan has started improving its diplomatic relations with many countries. Recently Bhutan has officially started its diplomatic ties with Germany, increasing the restricted number of capitals that Thimphu has. Thimphu is the capital of Bhutan. Formal ties with to 53 nations and EU. Now it has got diplomatic relations with 53 nations including Germany and the European Union. Okay, so please read curiosity evoking information. Until 2007, when Bhutan conducted its first elections, it had formal relations with only 22 countries, mostly donor countries such as Japan, Australia and several Nordic countries. Nordic countries means the countries in the northern part of Europe. Government allows 2000 crore for infra funding, a very important question. Cabinet decided to infuse 6000 crore as equity into a new debt platform to raise up to 1.1 lakh crore for financing infrastructure projects by 2025. Very important question. It will come. Of 6000 crore equity to be injected by 21-22, the cabinet has approved 2000 crore for disbursal this year. Very important. Listen, government is trying to have a new debt platform to raise up to 1.1 lakh crore. To that, the equity participation from the government is 6,600 crore for infrastructural funding till 2025. Very important question. The platform is sponsored by National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, NIIF. Very important question, it will come, please take down, read with real seriousness. Very important question, this will come for your examination. Cabinet okays merger of LVB with DBS Bank. Moratorium is lifted today. On November 27, today the moratorium will be lifted. We know that Lakshmi Vilas Bank collapsed and it was bereft of enough capital to meet the capital adequacy requirement. Their non-performing assets level went up to almost 26%. The bank found it difficult to find new equity capital to meet the capital requirements. So depositors started withdrawing money like anything. That would have made a run on the bank. All of a sudden Reserve Bank of India came out with actions. It imposed a moratorium on withdrawals. There was a moratorium on withdrawals above 25,000 and DBS Bank, DBS of Singapore, was allowed to take over LVB. LVB is a Karur based bank, and now DBS has Union Cabinet has okayed merger of LVB with DBS Bank India Limited. DBS India Limited is the Indian subsidiary of DBS Singapore. A very important question, this is the pick of the day, it will come. Diego Maradona, one of football's immortals, leaves earth. An apt title for the legendary footballer who single-handedly won the 1986 Football World Cup for Argentina, for a country which is passionate about the football. Diego Maradona is God for them. He was all through his life he was a leftist, had relations with Fidel Castro of Cuba, and he always supported the left principles of Latin America, and he was always very open in his making comments, and he was involved in the hand of God incident. He scored a goal with his hand while he was playing against England, which finally was his World Cup winning tournament. So Diego Maradona is no more. Please make a brief note about Diego Maradona. Very important question also for you. He will come, his name will appear in question papers of the upcoming examinations. Please read and take notes on Diego Maradona. Thank you very much. We have gone through a few important topics that would even come for the examination, but newspaper reading is for overall development. Read with a kind of a passion. Ensure that you all remain focused, because exams are getting very close to us. I wish you all the success. Please read newspapers with a kind of passion. I told you already about the regular classroom sessions that we are having. We are going to have it on December 7 and December 14. Those who are interested to join the program may register at icdkollam.in. We shall give you the details. Thank you very much. Goodbye and have a very good day ahead.